Today we mourn the loss of DEA Group Supervisor Mike Garbo. We know the daily dangers and challenges of our work, but nothing can prepare us to lose one of our own. Nothing can prepare us to lose a member of the DEA family. Mike Garbo led a life of service. He joined DEA in 2005 and was assigned here in Nogales, Arizona. I am so deeply grateful to Veda, to Alexis, to Terry, and to other members of the DEA family who took time this week to teach me about Mike's life and Mike's work. I learned that Mike Garbo was good at everything. I learned that Mike Garbo was an incredible mentor. I learned that Mike Garbo was a devoted father and husband. I learned that Mike Garbo was an incredible leader who always led from the front. When I say that Mike Garbo was good at everything, he was actually good at everything, which is an incredible thing for a special agent. Mike was a tactical expert who took hundreds of doors with skill and preparation. Mike was a legal expert. He became the subject matter expert in the Tucson U.S. Attorney's Office for all narcotics cases. Mike was the go-to in the office on everything, whether it was a high-risk operation or it was even DEA paperwork. Mike sweated the details, and he was good at it all. Mike was an incredible mentor. I have heard from countless agents, task force officers, and others who have told me that Mike always took an extra minute. He always spent the time to help someone, to teach someone, and to do it in a way that was patient and supportive. I learned about Mike's devotion to being at Alexis's dance recitals at every single event she had in her life. And the highest compliment, Alexis, I can give to you is what so many members of the DEA family have told me, which is that you are a mini Mike. Mike was also a true leader. Mike led from the front. He was always the first to go in. When it came time to do surveillance, Mike was the first one out, and he was the last one back. One of Mike's teammates told me that sometimes you would be out on surveillance with him, and you'd be sitting for hours, and nothing was happening. And someone would say, "Is it time to call it?" And Mike would patiently reply, "Let's stay just a little longer." The constant theme in my conversations this week has been that Mike was the best of the best, that he raised the bar for all of us at DEA. And countless agents have told me that Mike Garbo was the best agent they ever saw. Mike's devotion to DEA and to his country led him to volunteer in 2009 for our toughest assignment. Mike volunteered to go to Afghanistan for 2 full years. It was a difficult and dangerous assignment, and it took Mike away from his beloved wife, Veda, and from his daughter, Alexis. He missed 2 years of Alexis growing up. One of Mike's teammates in Afghanistan told me, "We sweated together, we froze together, we lived together, and we worked together." He added, "I loved Mike like a brother. If Mike had called me and asked me to walk across the country to change a flat tire, I would have been there." When Mike was leaving Afghanistan, he had a choice to make. The first time Mike came out here to the Phoenix Field Division, that decision was made by the DEA. But when Mike was leaving Afghanistan, he could have picked any office in the United States of America or the world where DEA operates. And Mike made a choice. He made a choice to come home here, to come back to Tucson and Nogales. Mike wanted to come back because he and Veda and Alexis had built a home here. They had built their life here. Mike loved this community. He loved the people that he worked with. and Mike Garbo loved his work. There was nothing that Mike Garbo loved more than being out in the field and on the street with his team. Mike loved doing drug interdiction work, and he knew that his work mattered. He understood that his work saved lives. This is the work that Mike Garbo was doing on Monday. It is his life's work, and it is our work at DEA. Mike's work is our work. Our work has never been more important than it is today. The need for effective law enforcement, local, state, and federal, has never been greater. And it is why we will be relentless day in and day out in continuing this work and in continuing our mission. To Veda, to Alexis, to Terry, Mike is a hero. It's Mike's tactical skills, his preparation, his experience, his leadership, his mentorship of his team. That is why Steve and Phil are with us today. And it is why other members of the public, passengers and crew on that Amtrak train were not harmed. I am so deeply grateful for Mike Garbo's service. Veda, Alexis, and Terry, Mike was a beloved member of our DEA family. You will always, always be a part of our family. I want to close by saying that Mike leaves us today, but that his legacy will live on forever at DEA. Mike's legacy will live on because he showed all of us what it means to be an exceptional special agent. Mike's legacy will live on when you are out on surveillance and you decide to stay just a little bit longer. Mike's legacy will live on when you take an extra minute to mentor a fellow agent, a fellow officer, or someone in your community. Mike's legacy will live on when you sweat the details as you go over your DEA paperwork or you double-check your ops plan. And Mike's legacy will live on when you lead from the front. May Group Supervisor Mike Garbo rest in eternal peace, and may his legacy live on in the righteous and just work that we will do in his name. Thank you.